Busy people and lots of yellies, Worcester hipsters and fed up townies. We have more than pizza in common, with two rocks for bookends. New Haven, New Haven, New Haven, between two rocks.
And welcome back to the Between Two Rocks podcast. I am your host, Josh Levins, and thank you so much. It is a beautiful Sunday in downtown New Haven here at Baobab Tree Studios. It is gorgeous out there, folks, so I hope you're out there enjoying your day. Welcome back, Colin Ryan.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just came from the beach. It is a great day.
It is, yeah. It's beautiful. Football's back. Everybody's excited about that.
Concussions.
I've already had way too many conversations about people's fantasy football team that I would have cared to have gotten involved in.
Definitely. Yeah.
But, it's that time of year. It's beautiful out.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're getting that end of summer, early fall weather. It's nice.
This is a great time of year. You can go out and do things, not sweat profusely the whole time.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, you can't record podcasts without sweating profusely, but
gotta do that.
Yeah. Fix the air conditioning. We're having fun. Yeah, it's a beautiful day, and I love what I'm thinking about this time of year is that basically it's nice during the day, but then at night it's cool. I can just turn the fan on. It's great.
Yeah, set that mood. Turn the lights down
Set
low.
that mood. Turn that industrial fan on high. Ooh. That's the mood I like. Industrial.
How do you like my new turbine?
So yeah, our next guest this week, our only guest this episode. Maybe it was a little too much, Colin. Maybe it was a little too much. We were having a discussion before we started recording if I had smoked too much weed today, and I said, is it too much or is it just a lot? And I was like, it's just a lot. It's okay. But now I'm thinking maybe I was wrong.
Dial it back a little bit.
What are you going to do? Time will keep marching forward and I will be fine. I was playing kickball earlier, and I got very confused, and someone was like, well, maybe you should take it easy. I'm like, no, that's what I'm paying for, this confusion.
Did you play kickball today?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where, down at the field?
Yeah. I unretired.
Did you really?
I did.
No way.
Yeah.
You're back in the league.
I'm back in the league.
Oh, my God.
I know. I thought it'd be good for material.
Yeah. You've just exhausted online dating? Is that what you're...
No. God, everybody there is so drunk, I can't date them. It's not going to work. But... their hijinks might entertain me and make great stagecraft. So,
nice, yeah.
We'll see.
Is anybody still there that you know?
Yeah, a bunch of people.
Yeah,
Sarah
awesome.
McQueen and Kevin and Kareem Jones and a bunch of people.
Cool.
Yeah, so cool. Anyway, we were about to introduce the guest and then immediately started talking about you again. Great job, Josh. So our guest was actually somebody recommended to me. I put out a call for cool guests, and somebody recommended you. And you're a photographer, and your name is Rachel. Is it Rachel Liu?
Rachel Liu.
Rachel Liu. Boy, I really should have asked that before. I meant to. I was like, okay, the one thing you got to do is ask how to pronounce her name before you start this podcast.
No, I think that's perfect. Ask them how to pronounce it right on air.
Yeah,
then everybody knows.
Yeah. So Rachel Liu, you're a professional photographer.
Yes, I am. And I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming.
And you're cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't actually know. Somebody on Facebook vouched for you, and based on the number of likes that recommendation got, I was like, well, she sounds cool. 5 people like the suggestion. That's pretty good.
Blow up that theory by the end of this.
So, yeah, Rachel is a local photographer, though she does live in Hamden, which she already apologized profusely for.
That's okay. I think we agreed a long time ago Hamden is part of New Haven.
Yeah, no, we did agree. Yeah, it's part of the greater New Haven community. So you're a photographer.
Yes, I am.
Wow, you did it. You're really living the dream.
I am living the dream.
So 4.5 years?
Yeah,
now?
Just about 5 years.
Wow.
Of doing full-time photography. Before that was a labor and delivery nurse, and before that was a doula.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a big transition.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is doula, that's one of those, it's like a witch doctor situation?
That's exactly what it is. Ours seemed like a witch doctor. Yeah, she was lighting, what was it, lavender? I think it was lavender around the room.
that was one
great.
of the most magical smells that you can use, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. I had a baby at the same time. It was amazing. That lavender.
Doula, in my brain, a doula is like a midwife. I don't actually 100% know.
So they're totally different. A doula is more
What a dum-dum.
Listen, I have produced no children, I think we're all relieved to hear. So go on.
So a doula is a person who supports a laboring woman.
Okay.
So she's not really
So
she
look
or
at the
he.
exact opposite of a husband in many ways.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It can be a complementary to a partner.
Way wrong.
Yeah, and
Yeah, Colin's cool, but most husbands are real trash. Go on.
so yeah, that person is really there to kind of like support the labor process, honor the wishes of the mother, kind of advocate for them, depending on what setting they're in.
What if like the
And
mom's
then-
super racist? Do you have to go along with that too? Because you're being supportive, right? So you're like, well, I guess I'm in the
not.
KKK now.
I
Okay.
think you work that out when you shop around for your doula.
Yeah, that's probably true. You have to go a
It's
separate.
like racistdoulas.com. I mean, there's a subset for everybody.
Okay, I'm really sorry, Rachel. That was an aggressive start. I apologize. Let's dial it back a notch.
Do you want me to tell you about a midwife? What a midwife is?
No, it's okay.
No?
We
Okay.
don't have to honor them. They're not part of this. You were not a midwife.
I was
right?
not a midwife.
Right,
No.
so fuck them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, how do you define the distinction? The midwife is the
So the midwife is
Midwife
like
is
a
the nuts and bolts.
trained, like medical professional. So
Nuts
yeah,
and bolts. I
yeah.
like the idea of referring to a baby delivery as nuts and bolts.
yeah. The whole thing's an oil change, you know?
It's like you finish, then you're like, wait, do I have an extra screw? Like, what happened
Ah,
here?
no.
Why is there another foot on the floor? Like, I feel like cool. Is there like a rivalry between doulas and midwives?
Not really. There can be a rivalry between midwives and doctors, or
Okay.
doulas and doctors.
Mhm.
I feel like that's kind of where there's
So
more of,
basically,
like, a
doctors are
power
the worst,
exchange.
is what I'm hearing.
No, I mean,
You heard it here first. Rachel Lou does not think much of doctors.
I love doctors. I have friends who are doctors, but I
We
feel
all
like
do. This
yeah,
is around
Yeah,
Yale. Yeah,
yeah.
it's hard. They're hard to avoid.
but I would say there's more friction there.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say there's more
Cool.
friction there.
Yeah, we had a doula and a midwife, and you generally don't want a doctor
You had a whole
in
squad.
your birth. We did have a squad. There was like
Nice.
I think literally a dozen people in the room.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah,
Where
That
did you
feels
have
like
your
a lot.
baby?
at Yale.
At Yale.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Shelly was 3 weeks early, and it
Okay,
was
yeah.
there was like some concern during the delivery, so
Yeah.
there was a lot of people in there. Yeah, it was wild.
I mean, I was happy to be there, but I was still like, why?
you were completely uninvited, actually,
do
and
I
I don't know
have
why
to?
you were there.
I'm like, why am I holding this camera?
A lady did run up at one point, and she's like, Shelly, there's a woman in the hallway, says that she's your sister. Do we let her in? And Shelly was like pushing at that moment.
Yeah.
We're both like, why are you telling us this? No, just tell her to stay out there. Tell her
Yeah, yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Like nothing to upset the flow right now.
Yeah. I met a girl and she was just like, oh, I don't even think I want my husband in the room. I was like, perfect. Yeah, that's fine. I could definitely miss a childbirth. My dad sure did. It's great.
Really?
Gotta keep the legacy. Yeah. No, I mean, he was watching the Giants game. They won. That was
Yeah.
good. So
Mhm.
that's important.
Yeah, he came and met you 3 months later.
My dad is, you got to get an early start on being emotionally absent. And I think it helps if you get a real good running start.
hmm Yeah, that's great.
He's getting better all the time now. This is his best year yet.
I find it hard to believe that men weren't in the delivery room for all those
yeah, it seems
millennia.
crazy. Yeah.
It does seem crazy.
It's like the weirdest form
real
of toxic
bonding
masculinity.
experience.
Yeah.
hmm I enjoyed
Something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
it. So how come you quit dueling?
How come I quit dueling? Well, I transitioned into becoming a full-time photographer. So when I worked at the hospital, the environment, as many people will tell you, is really stressful, particularly labor and delivery. We were like very high risk, took all the high risk
Well, there's
mamas
a lot of
and
emotions
babies.
involved in these situations.
A lot of
yeah.
emotions, a lot of lives involved. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Double lives, really.
Double
Mhm.
lives, yeah. So it's a very intense environment to work in, and so as a way of kind of coping and dealing with that, I
Drugs and alcohol.
used photography,
Hell yeah.
drugs and alcohol,
Big
and
two.
photography.
Mhm.
So I started actually photographing my family, and I had a blog, and it really was
Yeah,
just a
blog
creative.
twins.
It was a creative outlet for me. And
Well, like why photography?
So I've always, actually, that's sort of been my spot, like my place where I've kind of gone to. I've done photography since I was in high school.
Okay.
Like back in the day when there was a dark room and
Sophomore year
film
photography
and all,
class?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And it really clicked
Art
then.
nerds.
That's when every girl was going to be a photographer.
Totally.
Wait, did we skip that phase? I'm not clear that that's
Maybe not.
still not on the table.
So when I had this blog, all of a sudden there were nurses and doctors and midwives from the hospital that started hiring me to photograph their families. And it became such a thing that I was like,
And we're not talking about like cheesy family portraits
No,
in front of like a
no.
Sears backdrop.
no,
That's too bad.
that's
I'm
not
looking
my
to hire
jam.
somebody who does that. You guys know anybody? That's really the whole reason that you were here. Actually, this was just a weird way of trying to get headshots. So I don't know. No.
You wanted to bring the laser background. That was the whole point of this.
No. That's very cool. So like, what was like the style that like
that I did back then.
Yeah.
So when I first started, I would say it was really more like documentary style photography. So my whole thing, and still to this day, is really to capture like authentic emotion and authentic kind of process for folks. And so because I don't personally feel connected to those Sears photos with like the cats and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's really
well,
not.
I mean, it's hilarious. So in that sense, I feel very connected.
They're hilarious. It's like a little time capsule. But I feel like
It's great. I'm like, I laugh. I stop thinking about my life for several seconds. I'm like, oh, that was great. What next?
What are the cat photos?
Back to fentanyl.
What's the cat?
Oh, the cat. Have you ever seen that, like from the 80s, where there's like
People bring their cats
People bring
on
their
and they pull
cats.
them up, or they
No.
dress up in a cute out. Oh man!
and
No,
there's like
no.
Star Wars scenes in
Have
the
you been on the
background.
internet?
It's like
It is
kind of
great.
amazing.
Oh wow, no, I haven't seen that.
Our producer's also nodding. You're really missing out on
Yeah,
this.
I know.
Eamon is like,
Wow.
hell yeah.
Yeah, my night planned out.
By the way, if anybody at home listening takes those kinds of photographs, we want you on this podcast. So Rachel.
We'll stop
sorry.
right now. Actually,
Yeah, exactly. If you just walk up. Pretty sure that guy smoking a blunt from last week was also that kind of photographer.
That's what he was trying to tell us outside. Actually,
That's awesome.
Yeah, we have a good time. It was pretty awesome.
so that's so. What did they want you to take? Did they tell you something specific in the
So
in the hospital, or did you just kind of?
So I did like birth photography. I did pregnant mamas. I mean, I was drawn to sort of like all things birth and breastfeeding and that sort of thing. So I kind of found, I started in family photography and then sort of found this niche in like motherhood photography and did lots of like I said, like breastfeeding images, did lots of births, pregnancy, all that kind of stuff. And then in the last year have really transitioned into doing more sort of women's body liberation portraits, and I hold retreats and do community viewings and that kind of thing. But honestly, that work has always been woven into what I've been doing. So I've
Right.
been photographing.
That ethos already existed.
Yeah, it was totally there really when I started. And I think, I've been spending a lot of time. So it was about 4 years since I started doing full-time photography, thinking about like, how can I do these kind of portraits? And I thought, nobody is going to want this kind of thing. Like, what is, so many women struggle to even be in front of a camera. So I thought, how are people going to actually sign up for this? And then on International Women's Day this last year, I opened my studio and did these sort of shorter sessions, and it filled up within a week. I had 17 women come to my studio, and
Wow.
it was just super powerful. So
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of started the whole thing. And it's called, I didn't have a name for it then, and now it's called Bloodroot Sessions.
Okay.
And I do private sessions. I'm holding my second retreat this next weekend up in Vermont for 2 days, and
Which is sold out, right?
which both retreats sold
available.
out. No, it's not available, but I'm going to be doing more and more of this
Yeah, I
kind
mean,
of
right.
thing.
If it's selling out, you're like,
Yeah.
no, that's it. We're done forever. Sorry.
That's all. Yeah.
Got the 20 customers I'm interested in. Peace.
Yeah, so it's been really fulfilling, really amazing work that I feel like kind of just aligns all of the places in my heart, right? So like
Yeah.
women and bodies and kind of being full up in that way. So it's
Yeah,
really
no,
good.
I understand. Like, I mean, obviously, comedy's totally different. But like, when I put on a show, like somewhere in New Haven, like in an art studio, and it's like a cool spot, and it goes great, and like I can see people appreciating something they didn't think that they would like or
Right.
you know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, like there was something got built here.
Yeah,
That like I
totally.
got to share something I love with people who appreciated it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like there are people out there who resonate with the way I feel.
Yeah.
You know, and
definitely.
you're connecting with those people. And it's like it's such a rewarding feeling.
Absolutely.
Like it really can keep you motivated through
Totally.
the, you know.
So what makes it different than the sear shoot? What goes on during a session?
So
It's
can I not
very
bring my cat?
different.
Like, what's the deal? I don't understand the rules on the cats. Like, do you not like cats? Are you a dog person? Is that what this is about?
I mean,
Oh, you
Nothing
are,
against-
mother. Wow. You know, I thought you were like cool, and you're like, oh, I'm like a hippie type. Okay, yeah, you're just a dog person. I understand. Never mind.
I actually really love cats.
Oh,
Cats
do
are
you?
my favorite. Yeah.
All right,
but
all right, cool.
I mean,
I like all animals. It's fine. I did once had a girl wouldn't go on a second date with me because I didn't love dogs.
Oh wow.
And I was like, I like dogs. She's like, yeah, but you don't love them. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me
boy.
right now? I was like, this is the weirdest rejection. I get.
love with
That's a make or break. That's a make or break for some people.
But I'm like,
Yeah.
I could love your dog. Like,
Right.
I have to love every fucking dog I've never met. Like, some of these dogs are racist. Like, let's talk about it. Like,
Right.
I'm not gonna endorse this sort of thing. I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Too material now. I apologize. Yeah, that's amazing. So it's up in Vermont?
It's up in Vermont. Yeah, it's going to be on this 180-acre farm.
Okay.
And to answer your question about what's
Well.
different about it, so yeah, these are kind of weird, interesting, different offerings.
You have an
in terms-
Instagram
I have an
profile,
Instagram.
right? The people
Yep.
could check this out.
Yeah, it's Rachel Liu Photo, and
Okay.
Liu is spelled Liu.
Nice, good call on that one.
Yeah,
Smart.
yeah. And not to be confused with Rachel Liu Photography. There's another one of me, if you can believe it, in Michigan. So there's
Oh,
I am
man.
Rachel
All
Liu
right, well,
Photo.
we
Fuck
gotta
that girl.
terrorize this lady. Yeah.
But she does weddings, so we're totally different. But
Oh,
What a piece of crap.
Yeah, class.
so
Weddings. Call that photography? Come on.
I would say what's different about these sessions, in a lot of ways, the picture is really just sort of like a wonderful byproduct of it, but it's actually the process of doing it for a
Mhm.
lot of people that is the whole thing.
Getting
just
people. So like
yeah.
the people who do this with you, they're not necessarily people who are coming in feeling comfortable about this process.
no,
Like they're maybe
no.
challenging themselves
Definitely.
and like trying to look at their body in a new way.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would say most of the folks that are coming from a place of wanting to do some healing and wanting to do some sort of like moving through a difficult spot in their relationship with their body. So it's
Mhm.
really like, and I have a whole process for this. So it's not just like they show up and I'm like,
Right.
hey, let's take your pictures, because that's
So you
really
have like a puppet, I'm guessing, like on your hand, and you're just like, take off your shirt. Don't you feel good?
She's
not
actually behind a
totally.
wall. She opens a little slat. You just see her eyes. The whole thing.
Wow.
Terrifying. Really.
Yeah, there's like a whole process I go through with
Yeah.
folks.
Like, do you
So
hang out
they-
first? Like,
Mhm, yeah, I usually
No, there's no
spend
small talk
time-
beforehand.
It's best not to. We should treat each other like strangers.
So especially with the studio sessions that are at my home, like we have tea first. You know, they come over, we talk, and
Nice.
typically like
Do you
we're
judge them based on what kind of tea they like? Wow, peppermint? Ugh, gross. God, why did I even let this person in my house? That's what I'm thinking all the time anyway. So,
yeah, I have a questionnaire that I give people, so I'm really like getting to know them before, so that when we are at the point of like contact and I'm photographing them, there's a level of trust and there's a level of like intimacy and
Yeah.
knowing each other. And I would say the retreats are really powerful because we are in this like circle of women who are all doing this work together, and they're all bringing different identities, different, the things that they're wanting to move through, and it just inspires everyone to just sort of be more free. And
yeah, that's sort
and
of collective empowerment.
exactly. And I think part of the process for me, so it's sort of this whole process of being photographed, being part of this circle community of people, and then I always do something I call like a community viewing for the people who have been photographed. So for example, the folks that come to the retreat, in about a month after the retreat, we do a private viewing where all of their images are shared like on a big projector and there's music, and it's just this really beautiful time where, because I think, you know,
Is it just them, or do they
it's
bring
just
friends and
them.
family?
No, it's just them. Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty intimate, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
people are naked in these pictures. A lot of them.
Well, I feel
so
like maybe some of them have like significant others or something,
Yeah.
you know. But I guess in that situation, you'd be like, all right, just us,
Yeah.
you know.
Are you
share
with
this
them at the
moment.
same time, or is it
I'm with
just
them.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm
Mhm.
with them. So we hold another circle, and people are sharing sort of what the experience was
She's
like
not
for
there.
them.
She puts them in a box. Like, all right, get the
Yeah.
box.
Here you go. You can do this on your own.
Yeah.
I am going to be having like some art shows though. So those images I will be sharing images that I have like explicit permission
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
women to be
Mhm.
sharing. But
Sure.
in that space, you know, it's really an opportunity to be, so you know, these women have allowed themselves to be witnessed by me, right?
Mhm.
And now they're allowing the community that they've been in to
Yep.
witness them. And it's
Yeah.
actually this really powerful thing, because I think it's easy to be on the receiving end of these pictures and kind of pick yourself apart again, which is like not what's meant to happen, but
Yeah.
it happens. You know,
Mhm.
we live
Yeah.
in this culture. We're just like,
Yeah,
taught
everything looks so
to-
perfect. Everything on Instagram,
Right.
everybody's so beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah, I had some headshots taken. I was like, ugh, my skin really broke out that week. That's too bad. Thank God for Photoshop, though. So everything's fine.
Yeah, I don't do any Photoshop, as you can imagine. I don't do any Photoshop or anything like that. But it is really
You
powerful.
don't edit them at all?
So no, I'm definitely editing
I was
them.
gonna say, I was like, whoa,
But
hold on.
I'm not like, you know,
No, you're not
taking
scrubbing.
any.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
taking out
yeah.
like cellulite or stretch marks or
No,
rolls
yeah.
of skin or anything like that. I mean, that's not the point. And that's what I mean by it's really the process that is
Mhm.
the experience, and then the photos are just sort of like your, you know, gift at the end.
Right.
You know,
it's like
so
a keepsake. It's like
Totally,
getting your.
yeah.
Now you do you do like the Western photos? Could we get dressed up like cowboys or something? Like
That sounds great.
Is that an option? Because I actually brought my cowboy outfit here, so I don't
all
know.
right, we could do that.
I actually
I've had men ask actually if they could come to be part of the
Not
retreat.
allowed?
At this point, no. And I believe there should be spaces like this for men.
Yeah.
I really believe
Mhm.
that, but
Yeah.
I
It's just not
don't
your space.
I don't know if I'm the one to hold that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? So yeah,
Yeah,
I hope
that's great.
maybe somebody listening will think
Yeah.
this is a great idea.
The men
and
one
wanna
is a
do it.
Western theme.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sexy cowboys. I actually posed nude once for a painting thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Like it was actually after I had lost like a bunch of weight, and I was
Yeah.
like, for the first time in like my whole life, I had felt comfortable in my skin. And
Mm-hmm.
a friend I knew was like doing like I was at Southern Connecticut or something like
Yeah.
that, and it was like you know, she had this whole theme, but it was like, you know, nudity, and it was interesting, like that whole process of trying to get comfortable, like in that sort of situation with someone. Like, and I trusted her and I
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
liked her, you
Yeah.
know. So it's like, all right, I know I'm not like I don't know. It was crazy, and then I went to like, but there was like a viewing.
It is
And
crazy.
I went
yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and then there was like a guy I knew. I'm like, well, this is fucking weird.
Did he recognize you?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, we knew each other, but
Yeah.
like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so
I mean, did he recognize you like he
I
pointed
don't
at the
see
wall
how he
and then
could,
pointed
I mean,
back
he
to
didn't,
you?
yeah, it wasn't like
pointed
a
at the wall
sitcom,
again.
like laugh, everybody's laughing. No, I mean, he said nothing,
Okay.
which I think is like best case scenario. Just
Yeah.
sort of the total lack of acknowledgement. It was whatever, it's fine. So it was kind of empowering, I have to say.
Yeah,
like it was sort of
absolutely.
liberating and just being like, you know what, I'm not
Yeah.
like ashamed. It's his body.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, and that's
So.
actually where these sessions came from for me, was that I did this for myself 5
Mhm.
years ago. So this was before I
Yeah,
left.
I did it for this. What is it called? Playgirl. It's this magazine.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys
Did
have
you
heard of it.
really?
I think they
No,
went out of
I did
business.
not. I don't know what kind of shape I look like I'm in right now, but I certainly, and I do not have the equipment for Playgirl magazine. I don't know if anybody's listening or thinking, "Whoa, Josh is." Nope, don't even try to go down that route. It's just date me because I'm funny, because that's your only quality that you're getting. Anyway, so
So did you do this with someone else that was doing
Yeah,
a similar
so
type of
they-
photo shoot?
So they weren't offering a similar
Mhm.
kind of thing. I went.
You
this
forced
is
it
a
upon them.
friend of
You
mine.
hired them for a wedding shoot.
It was.
all right.
said,
So I brought my cat, but
"Surprise!"
guess what? It's getting weird.
I actually have a friend that lives out in Oregon, and you know, I was in my own process with body and wanting to kind of move through my own experience with it, and I said, you know, I am ready to do this thing that feels really hard, and I would like you to do it for me. I'd really
Yeah.
like you to photograph me. So she was like totally like, yes, cool, I want to do
Yeah,
that
yeah.
for you. And so
It's like
that
an honor to be asked,
experience,
you know?
yeah, and that
Yeah.
experience was really, really, for me, very life-changing. And so that's why I was kind of holding on to that, being like, I want to offer this to people, but I don't know how, because it's so weird. What do you say? Like, how do you even put words around it? And so I
Mhm.
feel like, you know, back, like I said, this last International Women's Day, I had friends that I had just gone to this weekend, this like women's empowerment weekend thing in New York City, Hanifa being one of them, who I know has been a guest on here. And
Great
she,
guest.
yeah.
Fantastic. I was listening to her episode last night.
Oh, that's awesome.
Best laugher I know.
Yeah,
Fantastic laugher.
And we know
She's
Quajo,
amazing.
so like
Oh,
we know
yeah.
some great laughers.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing too. Friend.
Only laughing wise. We're not talking about people's character right now.
No, not at all.
Separate
It's
conversation.
one dimension we're assessing here.
And they were all like, you have to do it. I mean, that was kind of
Yeah.
when I was telling them about it, they were like, you have to do this. And so I did. And
The podcast or the photo
No,
thing?
the photo. The photo.
She actually was telling me though that like people were like, no, it's really funny. You'll have a good time, and like people were talking into it. So that's exciting.
Nice. That
Yeah.
is exciting, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody was talking us up. It's good. Thank you, anonymous friends. One thing we didn't, I interrupted with my puppet joke, which was great. But how do you make women comfortable? Like, what is that process
Yeah.
like? Because like, I mean, that's got to be a hard situation. And everybody,
Yeah.
you know, I can't speak for obviously any women, but like I know some women who've been through a lot in their lives
Yeah.
and really have a hard time like feeling comfortable with themselves
Totally.
and have gone through some things. And so like I can't, you know, what is the process like of trying to get somebody to really
To kind of go
let
there.
go? And yeah,
So I will say one thing, like there on my end, there's no expectation of what people do in their sessions. So it's not like you have to get naked. If you're coming to the session, you know, that's not kind of like
Right.
a requirement. But I think there's like a few things that go into creating like a space of safety. And, you know, that is involved. I ask certain questions that are really intended to
what's your sign?
it's a lot about like what are you wanting to like
Get out of this.
get out of this?
Yep.
Like what are you wanting, what are some things you're needing to heal from in your life? Like what do you love about your body? Like
Oh,
what are
that's a
some
great
things that
question.
you really
Yeah.
love about
That's a good
yourself?
question.
I have a nice butt. What do you like, Colin?
Not your butt.
What? I just feel like that's an unfair assessment because you don't even like dude butts. So like,
So I'm willing to acknowledge when there's a good one out there.
wow. All right, whatever, dude.
I think
Fucking bullshit. This podcast is canceled. Going home.
I think having been a labor and delivery nurse is actually a big part of it for me. I think there's like an ability to be with people in lots of different states and like
Right.
different things that they're going through, and I feel pretty comfortable doing that. And so you know, my goal is really to create a space of both safety and permission, because I think what most people want is just permission to do the thing that they need to do in front of the camera, that they're kind of like, am I allowed to do this? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So that's really,
Can I really hold a gun in this photograph? I wish you wouldn't, but if that's what makes you feel comfortable.
Does anybody ever go too far for you?
you know what?
There's walk in pantsless, ready to go.
No, and I mean, I've had people like I've had people scream in the space. I've had people weep. I've had people like bang their hands on the floor. I've had people do all kinds of things. And I think really
Were all of those people Hanifa?
Hanifa is one of the, I have photographed Hanifa.
In my defense, I'm almost always weeping, and it's unfair of you to take credit for that. I just came in weepy. Like, it's just my mood today. If I was a dwarf, I would have been weepy. I don't know.
But I also have women come in who are dancing and joyful and really happy. So there's
Yeah.
just, you know, I like
The
I
whole
said,
gamut.
I feel like honestly it's the space that I'm aiming to create is a space of permission. So whatever people are needing to do, and sometimes it's all of those things in one session. So and for me, I think what they are getting on the other end of it is a picture of themselves full up in the power of who they are. So like I think there's a lot of things in our culture that cuts us off from having the full experience of emotion. I think for women in particular, there's a lot of violence. There's a lot of things that happen. And so to have a space where you get to just be who you are and like be powerful and be big and be imperfect, you know, and,
Right.
and celebrate that is like kind of not a common thing for us, you know? And so yeah, I think that's really a part of it. So people coming in have probably, you know, they've either seen my Instagram, we've connected, so they already know what's kind of available to them if they want to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Does. Are there franchise opportunities? Are you expanding
Yeah,
nationally? That sounds great.
That's the situation. Yeah.
I think this is a fantastic idea.
No, I think it's
thank
brilliant,
you.
especially like a place where you feel like there's there's not gonna be any negative consequences for these people. Like
Exactly.
they can just do this in this place and just be themselves and like not feel judged
Totally.
by other people who are sharing that experience.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
there's a lot of freedom in that.
Yeah, and I was really intentional about the folks who hold the workshops at my retreat are people that have already been photographed by me, so they are really familiar with the process, and then B are people who are doing that work in their own work, their own lives. So Hanifa, Tama being one of them, who own One Village Healing.
Yep.
This is a piece of what they're doing with folks is like healing work. So. And then I have Angela Clinton, who's part of CEIO. I don't know if you're familiar with CEIO.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the acronyms that Hanifa used that I just laughed. I'm like, I can't keep
Yeah,
track of
I don't know
these.
what
Is
that
that
is.
the inclusive one?
It's co-creating effective and inclusive organizations.
Oh, right, yeah.
What a
Yeah.
mouthful. Come on, folks. Branding. Yeah, I know it's like,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
So Angela and
Great
TW.
mission.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
amazing.
Great mission.
They're
Terrible
incredible.
title. Sorry. Just saying it.
No, it's okay.
You can hire me. I will come up with an equally bad name. The guy who came up with Between Two Rocks. Don't hire me. Yeah.
I think it's a great name, actually.
All right,
for
it
a
is, but it's
podcast.
long.
Yeah.
I wish it was shorter, but I actually didn't come up with it, so it's fine. I wouldn't have come up with it. It's too clever.
It is very clever.
Thank
So
you,
what goes
Bill
on
Sherman.
at the retreat that's different than one of your regular sessions? Or what are the
So-
other activities that you do besides the photo shoot?
And I should say that the retreat
Huge
came
paintball
about.
game?
Yeah, that's what I'm
afterwards.
picturing.
No,
I mean,
don't put
that
your
would be
clothes on just
amazing.
yet.
Slip and slide out.
This is a safe place, but not for you. You better run.
The retreat came about because when I did the sessions at my house where those 17 women came, I had made soup and I had all this food that I put out for them, and people just didn't leave. So I would come in
You
Oh,
to
ran
like,
out of
problem.
soup.
take a
That's
break.
that's what starts most retreats.
I had a comedy show at my house. The same
Basically.
thing. I'm like, why don't people leave? But then they ran out of beer, and
Yeah.
they did.
That's a surefire way. If your party's going too long, just start sneaking the beer out of the cooler.
That's right.
They'll leave.
So,
Oh, it's like we're going to the bar anyway.
so that was kind of the beginning of it, was that people would just hang out. Like they just didn't leave. So I thought, this is maybe something we need to develop into like more of a
There's
thing.
more of an appetite for
Yeah.
a more full experience.
Totally. So,
Yeah.
there's workshops that we do there. There's yoga. And the workshops are things, there's kind of like, collage and like sacred art making. There's, Hanifa does a circle of something called like tonal healing. So it's like sound and singing and kind of music stuff.
Sometimes
Mantras for the
it's-
revolution.
Mantras for the revolution.
It's not just me just going, what do you mean this tone is not healing?
And we have a person who does like floral essence making. So there's all different kinds of kind of
Sort of
offerings,
creative experiences.
things. Yeah, things that really help you be embodied. There's movement stuff. There's Reiki.
Colin's a huge movement fan. He does
Are
these
you?
power stances.
Oh wow.
Power moves.
Power move.
All right.
Do you know about
moves?
power moves? Yeah, power stances. You can
I
call
thought it
them
was-
as well.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
But he like stands all like big and he puts his arms out before we go
Yeah.
out because it makes him feel powerful.
it's
Yeah.
research backed.
It is.
There's
I've
a
heard
CEO
about it.
pose.
Yeah.
You put your
I
feet
know.
up on the table, lean back in your chair. You'll be more confident walking into your next meeting or
Oh,
whatever.
really?
Oh yeah.
I heard it was like animal. Like, aren't you supposed to be like an
Strangle
animal or
a cat
something?
or a dog
Yeah.
before you go into your meeting. That kind of thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Not
No,
that.
Jesus.
Like,
Yeah, I know. There's a well-known form of like empowerment that involves killing animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you not heard of this?
Taking the soul of another animal. Yeah.
It's called the Popeyes fried chicken sandwich. Everybody.
And then we have like a big dance party. It's
it's
really
cool.
fun. Like
God,
it's a really
I can
fun.
understand why men would want to get involved
Yeah,
in this. Yeah.
yeah.
But no, I mean they shouldn't be invited to this. What I do it great. But
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
interesting. That's cool.
Yeah,
Sounds
it is
great.
Cool.
What is the one thing I'm curious about is like what is the process, because it's got to be pretty wild to go from like doing this as like a passion project to like doing it full time and being like, okay, this is gonna be how I make money now.
Yeah.
And like rent will definitely still be a thing no
Yes.
matter how many people I empower, right? Like
Yeah.
that's gonna be a whole
It is definitely still a thing, and I'm in the process of figuring that out.
Okay.
I mean, I think with transitioning to photography, there's a real business for like family photos and for maternity, newborn, that kind of thing. So this is really different, and there's
Okay.
I don't know of anyone doing something like this.
Yeah,
so
this is the
I'm
first I've heard.
I'm
And I
figuring
know
it
a lot
out.
about this. I actually don't know
Right.
anything about this. This is but still,
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I'm figuring it out as I go. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
still doing other forms of photography because I do need to, make
a living.
Make a
Yeah,
living.
yeah.
But this is really kind of
So you will do the Western cat photo shoot
Yeah,
with my family.
100%.
Great. Which is just me and Stosh. But yeah. And the cat.
I will say I had a really interesting experience though, where I've also really never had to advertise. I've just been word of mouth and had like a business because I think being at the hospital and friends of friends of friends of friends. But with these sessions, I put out an ad on Facebook, which I'd never done before.
Yeah.
And it was on there for 4 days and I had 151 people reach out to me.
Nice.
And give me
Wow.
their emails. So I definitely feel like there's
Facebook
like,
advertising works so crazy. Like
yeah,
really
it was
does. Like,
wild.
I did an ad for my comedy show.
Yeah.
And like it was a packed house last night at the Art Plus, and I was just like one of the
amazing.
comics was like, "Oh, come to this comedy show." The people in the street were like, "No, please stop inviting people. It is hot in there.
Yeah.
There are enough people. Let's just entertain those people
Yeah.
and call it." I hate giving Zuckerberg money, but
I
boy,
know,
the
I know
platform
it.
is like
Yeah.
pick your battle, right?
Did
Well,
you
and it's
advertise for this
amazing.
last one?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I've decided, it's actually great. Like $20 week of the show is like perfect. I don't do it for like selling tickets. I do it for like just getting people to like click the interested button because I feel like once it's on their calendar, it's like now they're like sort of thinking about it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe I'll go.
Yeah.
And like on the last day, a bunch of people just bought tickets on Eventbrite. We're like, all right, fuck it,
Amazing.
I don't have anything else to do. $10, like it's you know what I
Perfect.
mean. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, holy cow!
It's amazing.
Like it sucks
Yeah.
because I'm like Facebook is ruining our lives for
Right,
sure.
100%,
But I'm also like
yeah.
gonna use it because it's also a
Yeah.
profitable form of ruining people's lives.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I think the events aspect of Facebook is what really
Yeah, for
can't
sure.
be quit. You know,
Yeah,
that's
right.
the best part of
I
it.
still want to get
It
invited
is
to
the
camping
best.
trips.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't want to be Dave. I don't want to just not know
Exactly.
what's going on. So
Yeah.
Has there ever been anyone that was interested in the retreat that you thought wouldn't be a good fit? That was
that's a good question.
That is a great question.
you don't have to name their name. You can tell us afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
I'm-
slip me their phone number because I'm interested.
You seem repressed.
I feel like I need to save somebody for the next year.
The only thing I will say about that is that there have been folks who I think sometimes maybe need more than we can give them. I wouldn't say like if somebody's repressed or something like that. We can
That's
we can
fine.
That's
definitely
perfect.
hold that.
Yeah.
I can hold that all day long. I feel like it's when there's any kind of like significant trauma that hasn't been
Really
worked
addressed at
through.
all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that actually you would maybe not be surprised, but that comes up a lot in my because I have a whole questionnaire that folks are answering for me, so I have a pretty clear idea. And there's only been about 2 or 3 people where I've thought, I don't know, I feel like somebody who's really trained and like certified, licensed and things should be walking with this person. And that's not to say that I couldn't photograph them at some point. But I just think sometimes when things are really fresh like that, it's not.
Where do you send
Not
somebody?
the right time.
Where would I send somebody?
Yeah, for
Well,
somebody like that.
it depends on where they live. If they live in the area, I
Yeah.
definitely have a list of folks that I could connect them to.
Okay.
Having been like a healthcare person, like
Yep.
I have a connection of like a network of that.
I recommend people to my therapist all the time. I
there you
was doing it
go.
last night. Somebody was like, "Oh, who's your therapist?" Like, yeah, join the
Yeah,
club.
yeah.
He's great.
Totally, it is
So.
great. Yeah. That's awesome.
Everybody should be at therapy. I'm just gonna say, like, I do
I
honestly
agree.
feel that like everybody should have a primary care physician and a primary mental health physician. Like, it's insane to like
Yeah.
think that people can exist in modern society and not
And
talk
not
about
need
some of these
that.
things that they
Yeah.
experience. Like,
Oh, totally.
Life's hard,
It is hard. Yeah.
and so it's okay to be like, hey. I have feelings, and like as much as I love Colin, he doesn't want to hear my feelings. Let me tell you,
I'll hear about some of them.
yeah, only the positive ones.
Drone on.
Just start all right, Josh, enough. We get it. You're sad. Shut the fuck up. Trying to play Jenga. It's
always Jenga.
It's always Jenga.
It's your turn.
It's your turn. That thing
Stop
is not
crying, shaky hands.
that's not the talking stick. Just put it on top. Cool. That sounds cool. Well, how do you like find a spot even to do a retreat?
Yeah, so I'm looking for a bunch of things when I'm doing that. I'm looking for land. There needs to be privacy and
You don't
space.
feel very remote.
Yeah.
This actually
yeah.
reminds me, when I was in college, I had a friend in a photography class, and she wanted to take nude photos of some of the other girls in the dorm.
Yeah.
And she's like, we want to find a remote place. And I was like, I know a place because I'm from
The
Coventry.
whole setup for this.
Yeah, no.
Like, is this a thing that really happened?
This is really a thing that happened, right?
So there was a girl in the dorm. She wanted to take nude photos of all the other girls in the dorm, and she needed a remote place to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there were like 6 of them. They could definitely beat me up. Like, there's no, so like, and I'm like pretty, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, they trusted me, I guess. So we went to this like, we used to party there when I was in high school, basically, and like just in the
some
fucking
sort of
woods.
open field in the woods.
exactly.
Yeah, that's where you drink in high school. Yeah.
Exactly. So I brought them there, and I'm like, all right, cool, have fun. I'm gonna go like over here,
Yeah.
and then like just let me know when you're done. You know, and I did some writing, and then like a week later, one of them was like, oh, we thought you were just gonna hang out, and I was like, what? Really kicked myself over that. And I was like, oh
Again.
man. But in retrospect, I'm happy I made the choice I did. It's fine.
Well, yeah. You've only been thinking about it for 20 years.
I mean, it was a weird situation over. It was like such a beautiful day too. I really like remember like sitting at the stream and just feeling like, wow, like the universe is not like a bad place. It's just sort of like is a place.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it was like a nice gentle brook, and I felt very connected to the universe in that moment. And I was I don't know. I felt very beautiful.
Yeah.
But then I had to go back to engineering school, and I was like,
Right.
never mind.
Yeah.
It's stupid. There's so much math left to be done.
So where is the retreat? Vermont?
It's in Vermont. It's the
Yeah, I don't think it would be hard to find a place at all. I
Yeah.
picture all of
Can we get
Vermont
an
just being like,
address?
what are you doing, like a blood route type of thing?
It's like so I mean the unique thing that we need too is like the accommodations for that many people. So
Yeah.
there's 20 of us all together
Mm-hmm.
that are going for the weekend. So
It's
it
like
needs,
food and stuff too to consider, right?
I
And
make
people have diets.
homemade food. Oh yeah,
Oh, you
I make
yeah.
I make homemade food for people. My crew also makes homemade food for people. So we are like there's so much love that is like poured into this thing. It's
Yeah.
really amazing. And yeah, so it's we do need very specific kind of property though. So one that doesn't have like houses nearby
Yeah.
or
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So this place
Dan
is
can't come with his
180
stupid drone.
acres.
No, no fly zone over there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how do people find out about this? How do like if I was interested? I mean, not me,
Yeah,
obviously, but
right.
if somebody listening
somebody you knew, yeah.
was interested, how would they track you down to
Yeah.
inquire about
So if
future availability?
they can go on my website, it's rachellouphoto.com.
Not
And then
photography, not that
photography,
Michigan
not
lady.
Michigan Rachel Lou.
Ugh,
And then
do you ever talk to her?
I did. We ended up having to connect because we had so many like
Yeah,
we had all these
Oh, that's
people that
funny.
were like, "Oh, I'm excited to book with you," and she's like, "No," or I'm like, "No, wrong state." But
Oh,
Applegate
there's Ian. I
setting.
haven't seen him in like 1 or 2 podcasts.
I know,
So I was
right?
wondering what happened to him.
41 minutes. All right. He looked like he had a pretty good stride going.
No, he had a good saunter. Yeah, he's got places to go,
he's
people to
moseying
see.
All right.
Yeah.
What are the words for walking we think of? Stop the podcast and think about it. All right, now. So Rachel Lou
Rachel
Photo,
Lou Photo,
LIU,
liu.com. And you can send,
at Rachel Lou on Instagram.
at Rachel Lou Photo.
Do you have a Twitter account?
I don't have a Twitter account. I've never gone there.
That's
Twitter?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twitter's great, but it would be
It's a lot.
not a helpful photography
Right,
place. Yeah,
right,
it's a great
totally.
place for dumping bad jokes and then deciding if they're good enough to promote to Facebook. And then you're like, why did I put that on Facebook? I didn't need to do that. Anyway, follow me at Caleb NHV.
Do you, since you have so much interest in this event, which you held, how many times have you had it before?
So
the retreat.
The retreat. So I've had 2 retreats.
Okay.
The first one was in Connecticut at a farm in Connecticut. So farms actually seem to be really great because there's a lot of land.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine.
And so we had a really sweet 1 day long retreat, and then I've done 2 events before that where I had the International Women's Day, and then I did another event at Tough Girl Fitness in Hamden. So I had. That was like 10 women came and were photographed. And I've also done just lots of private sessions with folks.
Does Karen Lenahan still go there? That's my one
she does.
Tough Girl Fitness.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
Small kitchen,
Small
big
kitchen,
taste.
big
She's
taste.
awesome.
Yeah, she's great.
She's amazing. So yeah, what was your question again?
Well, actually, I was wondering what would you do? What's your plan if the interest really, since it sounds like there's a ton, would you start doing these more than one time a year?
Oh,
or
definitely.
What? Okay.
So I actually, this is only that I'm going to be putting out the schedule for the next year, and we have about 3 to 4 events that are going to be happening.
Awesome.
Retreats. And then, like I said, I'm always doing private stuff is kind of all the time. So, and we're hoping to take the show on the road and maybe go to like Costa Rica or California or, somewhere where we can have different, the beautiful thing about being outside is there's like earth, like you were just saying, you felt really connected to the stream. So
Yeah.
I photographed
That was
women.
in college though. I
That was
don't
in
feel
college?
that
You
anymore.
don't feel
Yeah,
that
no. That was just like a one-time deal.
So one of the things that I bring into the portraits in my studio, and then obviously if we're outside, there's like elements available to people. So there's like dirt, there's
Yeah.
ash, there's water.
Do you have any
there's
props
fire.
like giant sunglasses or something like that? I can wear? That's what will make you go.
Nothing like that.
Pop on that fake nose and sunglasses.
But I do have props. I do actually have a
Yeah?
lot of props. Yeah, they're kind
I've
of.
actually seen. I 100% believe that.
Yeah.
because I've looked at your Instagram. And I was like, this. I mean, it is some very beautiful stuff. I would say check
Thank
out
you.
Rachel Liu on Instagram. It's very cool. Like even if
Thank
you're not
you.
like a lady, or you're not
Yeah.
that interested. The photos are pretty cool.
Thank you.
So.
Yeah.
And you have like you're speaking at a conference upcoming too, right?
Yeah, I'm speaking at CEIO at
Don't
Co-Creating
say it.
Effective
Don't
and
do
Inclusive
it. Don't
Organization.
fucking say it again. I swear to get. No, go ahead. Co-creating inclusive such and such.
Yeah, such and such. I am
Don't-
speaking at.
Oh boy! Thank God Hanifa already came on because she'd be like, "All right, really? Come on, help me out."
I am speaking. Hanifa is also speaking at a day-long event. So it's
Cool.
people who are seeding deeper change in New Haven and in the New Haven community and area.
Cool.
So
Nice.
I'm one of
I want a
them,
conference
yeah.
for people who are criticizing change in New Haven. That's my conference.
Yeah.
We just are like, really, everybody? Nice try.
Go to any community meeting. It'd be
Yeah.
great. Any
Sure.
Board of Alders meeting.
It's all complainers. When is the conference?
It's just a day-long kind of
Yeah, but when is
thing.
it?
It's on the 26th of September.
26th of
Mhm.
September.
And if you're
where?
interested in coming, you have to register. So you want to go to ceio.com.
CEIO.com.
Yep, and or .org. Sorry, it would be a
.org,
.org. And there's a link, and you can just click to register there. And it's going to be at the
A
Whitneyville.
link
A link.
that anybody could just click on.
Yeah, you want to register. And
Cool.
in
Is this
Hamden.
mobile friendly or like what's that? Sorry. Just being a jerk now.
What does the
cool.
retreat cost? Just out of curiosity.
So
I'm
the
not going to
retreat-
try and go.
Oh boy, yeah. I was actually trying to avoid asking. Someone
Really?
sounds expensive. So
It does sound expensive. Yeah, I'm just curious.
I was
Yeah.
dating somebody who was pretty into photography,
Mhm.
and she wanted to do like these landscape photography, like excursions
Mhm.
to like Greenland,
Mhm.
and they were like,
Yeah, that's a vacation.
Yeah.
they were like $20,000. I was
Oh
like,
my
oh
God.
yeah,
No, yeah, that's
boy,
crazy.
that's whew, you better be a professional photographer. That's college. You're going to college, basically. I hope so.
Yeah, so the 2-day retreat is $1,400. And that includes all your meals, that includes the stay on the land, it includes the
giant
viewing,
sunglasses. You
the
get to
giant
keep,
sunglasses,
bring 'em home.
the
put 'em on your
the
kids.
clown nose, all of it. And I also, because it's really important to me to make it accessible, I provide like sliding scale spots for folks. So actually the cost of the retreat is not fixed. On my website it says that. And that if you're able to give more, I ask that you give more. For this last round, I had over $2,000 of donations that came in for
Oh,
people
wow.
who are in the sliding scale spot,
Wow.
which was really
Yeah.
amazing. So that's always kind of like in flux and in movement, but I
Yeah.
really feel strongly about this not being like an elite thing that only
Yeah.
certain people can do, but being something that the community is able to access, like
Yeah.
the whole community, all
Mhm.
parts of the community. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow. That was that was good stuff.
Thank you.
Anyway, back to the jokes. No, we're gonna play some games now.
Let's play some games.
Play some
Cool.
games. We're about that time, so that's good. You did a great
Perfect.
job.
Thank
know,
you.
I know you were a little like, yeah, you were a little leery, especially since I did not write questions till this morning. This weekend has been crazy.
It's
Like I
okay.
just have
It's
had
all
it's been
good.
nonstop. I'm like my brain is. I'm gonna crash and burn after this is. I'm about to go host an open mic at Three Sheets after this.
Yeah,
and
that'll be a
then-
good one.
Wow.
And then because I'm already warmed up, which is great.
Mhm.
Like I'm like feeling punchy, so this is good. It's good because there's some shitty comics coming, I'm sure. So, including yours truly. Yes. Okay. So, fuck, marry, kill. Let's do that first because I think it's fun, and we'll lead off with the flagship game.
Okay.
So we're gonna do types of photography.
Okay.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah.
Types of photography. Obviously, we're not photographers.
Yeah, so what are the types? I didn't even get the
There's, like-
concept.
so there's like landscape.
Okay.
Boy,
Portrait.
That's all I can think of. Portrait.
Documentary.
I would documentary. Yeah, hers were sort
Blood
of like
root.
documentary.
Blood
Blood
root,
root.
yep.
Yeah, kill blood root. No, come on.
I can tell you. Okay, you want me to go in that
There's
order?
Maternity.
boudoir. There's
Yep.
boudoir photography.
Boudoir.
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 You had
You
all
sound
the right
French.
letters.
Yeah.
Boudoir. Am I saying it right?
Well, I think you pronounce it like the French do.
Oh, yeah, I'm very cultured.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah.
Colin seems skeptical, but I don't know.
All right. So
What other
types
types of... No, you got to help us
photography.
think of some more,
All
though,
right.
before...
I mean,
Because we got to get inspired
there's so
here.
many.
No,
There's,
but we need your help.
Mm.
okay,
Yeah.
so there's
Just give us the biggest 200.
the biggest two.
Honestly, that's not fair. We could do like 170.
There's,
It
like,
would be good.
babies in baskets. You know that
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of like
babies.
whole
Kill.
genre. Yeah.
Dogs, like animal
Dog,
photography.
Mm.
There's animal
Um,
photography.
How about like a puppy with a baby?
Oh,
There's
you could- yeah,
weddings.
you could do
Weddings,
that.
obviously, huge wedding.
You just want to get rid of the
photography.
whole
Do you know,
wedding thing.
I
I'm
want
just saying, wedding photography.
wedding
is
photography is a
definitely-
whole thing.
Yeah, no, it's a.
Yeah.
You know what I
whole
would kill?
thing.
Actually, people
Getting married,
dribbling
Agreed.
out.
Let's kill marriage. On
I
this
would kill
podcast.
people having like a big event, like usually a wedding, and then just like kind of dribbling out their photos over the course of like a year
Mhm.
on
Oh.
Facebook. I
Yeah.
just
What
dump
you
them
wanna
out.
kill is
Just
not
put
a
'em
type
out.
of photography, but a type of
The
photography
type of person.
release.
The type of person.
delayed. Are we talking about Brittany right now? Is that what's
Just everybody.
One of my early
putting our
photo
friends on
sessions.
blast? We're gonna find out if she listens to the podcast.
I know.
That's for sure.
We should start dropping Easter eggs just to see if people listen.
I think that she does. We're gonna find out for sure,
Good.
though.
Good.
She's not gonna hear her name and then just say nothing. That's for sure.
It's true.
We got a nice little landmine in here. This is fun.
Yeah.
Okay, have we thought of it? What
So
other
that
types
was
of
that was my
photography?
kill.
That's
What
your kill. One of my early photo sessions was a family, their baby, they wanted to put a Santa hat on him and have him hold a Jose Cuervo bottle while he was sleeping.
Ooh, yikes.
I know.
Nice.
Isn't
Mhm.
that?
New profile pic.
Yeah.
Exactly. Needless to say, I didn't include that in my portfolio.
It's not on your LinkedIn.
No.
Mm.
No.
It's too
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
I would kill wedding photography just because I hate going to weddings and they do say in the morning, they're like, okay, cool, we're going to take photos for like an hour. I'm like, yeah, I didn't want to hang out anyway. I wasn't here to like celebrate your love or whatever. The important part is that we have highly structured photographs of your cousins. Like that's really what
Yeah.
you're going to look back at. You fucking like,
Yeah.
it feels like the total opposite of being in the moment. And I know why they do
Totally,
it,
yeah,
but it's just
yeah.
like
Mhm.
sucks. Like I get it, but
I see the concept because a lot of time you just literally won't see those people otherwise, besides the wedding photos or, if it's like family or
Yeah,
cousins
but I'll
or
see them
whoever.
and hang out with them in the moment. I don't like.
Right,
I'm
right.
not like there's. I just feel like there's no chance 2 years from now I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, look at cousin Billy in the fucking suit. What a great picture.
What
I
an
feel so
asshole.
happy right now. No, I'm like never gonna look at these things again. Right?
Uh-huh.
Like you're gonna make your grandkids look at it as a punishment for it's like a pre-cookie
Yeah.
punishment. I don't know. Anyway,
Right.
I would kill wedding photography.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did you choose a kill?
I would kill like babies and chef hats.
Kill
and
babies.
muffins
Perfect.
and-
Love it. Finally, somebody says it. Yes. You know what? Humanity's experiment has gone too far. It's time to just cut the.
So you don't like staged baby photos,
Staged where they're
babies
like
trying to be adults.
babies
when they're
trying to be
holding
adults.
Jose Cuervo.
Right.
Mhm.
Where
Yeah.
they're like they like make them look like they have adult jobs and
Yeah.
things when they're sleeping. It just is really like it's
What about that movie?
Terrible.
What about the
Mhm.
movie with Jodie Foster and Michael Jackson where they're all pretending to be adults or they're a Wizard of Oz? Who's the other one? Brick. Did you ever see that?
Oh,
Where like high
yeah.
school kids pretend to be adults. It's
Right.
kind of fun.
The movie with
Joseph
Jodie
Gordon-Levitt
Foster
was in
and
it.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I think The Wiz or something. I'm thinking of something else.
Mhm.
That is no Muggsy Bogues or something. No, that was a basketball
Muggsy
player.
Bogues, the NBA's shortest basketball player. What is this movie? You're talking about Space Jam?
Listen, I just consumed a lot of fentanyl, and I don't know what's going. No, there was a movie in the 80s or 90s, and Jodie Foster was in it, and they're like all the kids were pretend gangsters. I had a conversation about this like not
Okay.
a week ago because my life is going good, and I don't know, like they all pretend to be like 20s gangsters, and
Uh-huh.
they were like kids, and they were like it was like a I don't know what the fuck it's called.
I don't
Kill that one.
Kill. Yeah. Anyway, that did not help at all. Okay, so marry and fuck.
All right.
I gotta think about that. Go ahead, Josh. What do you got?
Ooh, this is a toughie. I guess I would probably marry these sort of intimate portrait photographs. I love when people feel vulnerable. You know what I mean? I think it's like such an authentic experience, and I think like it's like pretty cool when you can see that somebody feels like beautiful in a moment in a way that they didn't like think about even before that. You know what I mean? Like that's a pretty cool. Or even just like I love when even if you see like a celebrity photographed in a different way and you're just like, oh, they really kind of captured this person's like vulnerability and they're sort of like
the essence of who they are.
Right, exactly. And it's like I think it's pretty cool. I mean it has the highest potential, but it also has like it can also just be super cheesy and just like it's such a hard like fine line. But when it's good, I think it's
so which
good.
one was that? Fuck.
That was Mary.
Okay.
Yeah, that was me marrying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what I'm gonna fuck. I'm gonna fuck the boudoir. I fucking think it's great. I met this lady and she actually does like that sort of photography.
Yeah,
and she
it's
also
beautiful.
has like a it's a little different in the sense that like it's less healing focused.
Yeah,
For her,
yeah,
it's more about just
yeah.
making people comfortable and feeling sexy and feeling like powerful.
Yeah, which is amazing.
And like you can really see people who, you know, maybe would not be like fucking GQ or Sports Illustrated sexy, but like feel sexy in the moment and feel that sort of like power.
Yeah.
And I think that's like
amazing.
really cool.
Yeah.
And just also I'm really pro nudity. I think everybody should just get naked once in a while.
Totally.
So, you know, you have to show everybody, but you should show somebody
Yeah.
with their consent. All right. I just want to put that out
Yes.
there.
I would fuck with
But you-
diagonal photos. We're all portrait and landscape. We need more diagonal.
Boo! Boo!
I've got one photo from Rick's
Get your
house where
angular-
Rick is in the foreground, I'm in the background, and it's half blurred and on a diagonal, and it just perfectly captured that scene
Yeah.
of
I
what
feel
it's
like
like being there.
every photograph I've ever seen Rick take is blurry. Like he
For
definitely
sure. Yeah.
cannot stop moving his hands
No.
long enough to take a clear
Yeah.
picture. It's great, but it does give you the sense of the kinetic motion in his life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right, somebody else got an answer. I did all
You
three.
just
So
ran through them all, yeah.
yeah. Did
What do you got, Rachel?
Let's see. I would marry. See, I have a photographer in mind. I love Sally Mann and her work. Do you know Sally Mann?
No.
She is amazing. She's like a famous photographer who's
Yeah.
like in her 60s and has like this beautiful. She photographed her children when they were younger and raw and authentic, like super raw, super real. And then does all these portraits of death and stuff now. And she's just like a total real full up artist. I love her stuff. It's really beautiful. So
Sometimes you're like, oh, is this really art? But then other times you're like, yeah, this is definitely art.
oh, she is like amazing. And I think if I would say what I would fuck would be like body liberation photos where like all bodies are represented. So like marginalized bodies. People doing that work, I really love following. That
Like
kind of
ESPN,
stuff.
The Body Issue, where you have like strong bodies, really strong bodies, fit bodies, even fitter bodies, that kind of
I
thing.
mean, yeah.
No, they got some softball players on there. I was checking it
Yeah.
out this month, and I was like, man, some thick booties out here.
Yeah?
I love. There's
Mhm.
like.
Some of them were dudes. I don't even care. It's great. I just love to see bodies. You know,
Thickness.
just want to see different types of bodies. I'm like, oh, that's a different also type of body. You could
Who's
have.
that, Muggsy Bogues?
I swear to God, I'm gonna like find out what this movie is. Continue though.
There's a photographer that like plays around with masculinity and like puts flowers in men's like hair and like kind of all over their bodies, and it's just those are that kind of thing I find really interesting, where you're kind of playing with ideas of culture and gender and bodies and like what's supposed to be beautiful and what's, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So I love like that's like I'm really really drawn, obviously would be really drawn to that.
I would like iPhone photos where I would marry
Oh my
the
God,
photos
you're
that are
so bad at this.
that are suddenly motion capture that you think are just a regular photo and then it moves 3 frames. Those are great.
Bugsy
go.
Malone is the name of the movie. Bugsy Malone.
I mean, yeah, that sounds like an old gangster. Sure.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's a bunch of kids it's from actually 1976. So
All right.
fairly old as I thought. So,
Yeah.
Jodie Foster was pretty young. So
She's amazing.
I can't help but think of Contact when I hear Jodie Foster.
great movie.
It was
I
great.
really liked it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the Jodie Foster podcast. Just call in with whatever your favorite Jodie Foster film
Yeah.
is. Jodie Foster's my dad's crush.
Really?
Yeah, that's like his favorite because she went to like Harvard or something or Yale or
She went to Yale.
Yeah, and so my dad's like a huge smart crush lady. Words?
That be good if we.
You know, you go into a sentence and you're like, this will be fine. And you're like, nope, I just did not structure anything that went into that.
We should do a 3 or 4 podcasts seamlessly, or we just do another hour on Jodie Foster right now.
Yeah.
And then whatever happens to get discussed,
Hey,
we
man,
pick
you're not
that up.
doing anything, right? We could do another 40 minutes on Jodie Foster. That's pretty much how with Matt Fantastic. He just would not stop talking for 2 hours. Like, oh, I guess this is a 2-parter. When you're in an attic, it's less of a problem because you're like, well, this is all going to be my problem later for post-production. So, okay. Did we do everything?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do Steal Something now. That game is basically we take something from another city that we like, we bring it to New Haven. You could say Hamden, that's fine,
All right.
because we consider it sort of,
Greater New
grandfathered.
Haven,
Yeah, it's all part of the big picture.
I got a great one.
Oh, great.
So we were in Burlington last week.
Yep.
And they have, first of all, they have their very nice bike walking trail from the campground over to the, to the town.
Yep.
So that's great. But along the trail, they have these little workout stations where it's all just body weight exercises that you can do on the machines. Super fun.
Yeah.
You got to work out, but it's just also super fun when it just like pops up out of nowhere and you're like, oh, cool. Let's
drunk
play
and
on
you're
this.
like, yes.
That helps on the way back after you've had a couple of beers.
Stay
Yeah,
loose.
it's great. Yeah. I think it's awesome. I don't know what those things cost. I know there's one in Edgewood Park. There's one of those set up.
Yeah.
But
I don't think we have them extensively.
put them everywhere. Put one on the green. Like that would be awesome. See people just working out.
I would love to see 2 people fucking one of those things on the green.
Absolutely. Little after dark type of thing.
Hold on, let me get my camera. We're about to
Tie it all together.
Empower you guys. Sorry, I don't mean to mock what you do. It is very beautiful, seriously. I would say, also thinking of Burlington, Lake Champlain. Let's just take it. It's great.
Take the lake.
So huge. And like, wouldn't it be nice to have a lake in New Haven that also bordered Canada? Just fun. You could boat to Canada, which if we end up in a sort of what's the
Dystopian future?
Yeah, but what's the show that's on? Handmaid's
Tale.
If we really Handmaid's Tale ourselves, then bam, just boat to Canada. It's kind of a win all around, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good answer. If I don't say so myself. Global warming. What about it?
Well, global warming is a big issue today. Eamon, keep rolling. We're running into the next podcast.
Global warming. Yeah, that'll be good. I don't know. You gotta do more because I don't understand what you're saying. Global warming cake, 1281.
Global warming lake.
Lake.
Tie the lake with global warming. We're all going to be in a lake soon.
Oh, good point. True. We could just wait for the sea to come to us. He's so excited we got that. He's so excited that Eamon could be a part of this, So, what about you, Rachel? You got something?
Oh, man. Well, you're making me think of like the green. This last Christmas, we went to Hartford and they had an ice skating rink on their green. Like they bring it in seasonally. And it was so awesome. Like to have something like that on the green where it's
that
like
was a great idea.
It's not just like the Christmas tree lighting or Arts and Ideas where it's actually like there for a month and you get to like bring kids down and hang out. I think community spaces, like I just want more of that for New Haven and Hamden. Like,
and you see a couple people fucking on there.
Great. But what will the 5 proprietors of the green think? Yes. Like, ooh, ice skating. It says here.
The Old Town Green District.
Right.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Knocked it out of the park. Great job.
This year, let's make it happen. Let's use the green.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
oh, boy.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's just do mayor for a day.
Let's do it.
$1 million. What are you going to do for your city? I guess Hamden, or New Haven,
I put a bunch of workout equipment on the green.
Smart. I'm going to also do my thing.
Effective.
I think $1 million, just move the lake. Done.
Yeah.
I'm going to use one of those off-brand contractors, just like I did on my house. And that did in no way come back to bite me all the time.
Like an off-brand contractor.
I wanted to write
the
the little scathing review of this guy, but I was also like, I don't want to piss this guy off. I don't know what's, it's one of those things you're just like, you know what? Lesson learned.
So you're a carpenter, right? I'm a woodworker, yeah.
I'm sitting in a wood pile, yeah.
So mayor for a day.
Mayor for a day.
I mean,
so you have $1 million to spend.
See, I've got kids, so I'd have to give it to the schools.
So
boring. I know.
That goes nowhere.
It's so boring.
What
That
school
goes
specifically
nowhere.
do you want them to make
What
better?
classroom in particular?
Yeah.
That'll make an impact.
cool.
We need it.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
it.
well, it's about that time.
All right.
I think we made it. You've been a wonderful guest. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So check out Rachel Lou at Rachel Lou. Something of Rachel Lee Cook. She's still my favorite. Still my OG crush.
Yeah.
Remember her in that?
Was she in that movie with Michael Jackson and Muggsy Bogues?
No, but she was in that heroin commercial where she smashed everything, and I'm like, if I do heroin, am I going to meet women like that? Because I could get into heroin.
Was that back with the whole Brain on Drugs series of commercials?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is your
man.
brain on drugs, and
Yeah.
then she's like, "This is your brain on heroin." And she smashed everything.
Yeah.
I was like,
Jeez.
"Whoo, this is sexy."
That was
Oh
great.
shit!
That whole series was fantastic.
No, it was cool. 90s were fucking weird. RachelLouPhoto.com,
Yeah.
LIU, and at Rachel Lou on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Check out her photos. Very cool. Sign up for the comically
Yeah.
named thing. It'll be great. September 26th.
September 26th. Yeah.
Nice. Knocked out of the park.
CEIO.org.
Totally.
CEIO.org.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you can hear me do jokes. I'm hosting a show at the Regal Beagle this Saturday, the 14th, 8 p.m. It is $10, but $5 if you're a podcast listener. So just
There
mention
we
the
go.
podcast, and I will only charge you $5. And guess what? I accept credit cards. It is 2019. I did a credit card transaction for a ticket last night. Felt like a real big man.
Nice.
Like, yeah, I'm so macho with my credit card. I don't know what's going on with me. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Colin.
Thank you. This was
Thank
great.
you.
Thanks,
And,
Rachel.
Thank you.
We will see you next time.
Busy people and lots of yellies, Worcester hipsters and fat up townies. We have more than pizza in common, with 2 rocks for bookends. New Haven, New Haven, New Haven, between 2 rocks. Ba-da-da-da, 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 between 2 rocks.